Okay, so this is what came to me when I was preparing to do a human design session. It's been definitely a progression of how I deliver information about human design, especially since my own information has come through of how to put the 13th planet back into the body graph and see additional superpowers and check out additional abilities that are now coming online with the way the earth is changing and the way our energetic fields are changing. So it's a constant fine-tuning discovery process for me as how I want to share this information. So I was actually working with someone that I had sat at a picnic table, I don't know, maybe a year ago or something like that. We had sat outside, had a discussion, and I had things printed out for her to see, her body graph, and I'm constantly refining and fine-tuning. How do I get this information across in a way that someone can digest it, in a way that someone is not overwhelmed? Because for me, it's so exciting. I was telling her it's like a treasure map, and it's this discovery of yourself is what it is, where some people will look at the body graph of the image and all the numbers, and if they're not a numbers person like I never was, if they're not a numbers person, they can just be like, whoa, that's too deep for me. I don't want to go there. I don't want to learn a whole bunch of stuff. And so I was praying and meditating, as I always do, for my day of clients. And I was like, how do I give this information in a way that is palatable, is digestible, is not too much, but is enough? And the guidance that came through is a technique that I want to show you, because the technique came through of just clear out her chakra system, the minor chakras that are all the joints, clear all that out before you even go into the intellectual aspect of grasping the concept of human design. Do energy work first, always. And I was already pretty much doing that, but this is taking me to a new level of understanding that every single kind of session I do is energy work. It doesn't matter if we're talking about human design. It doesn't matter if it's like coaching, consultation. Even if someone is doing consulting work with me because they're going to open a wellness business, they're going to open a spa or something like that, the guidance was so clear: do energy work first. Because hopefully everyone is going to realize and wake up to the fact now that they can do their own energy work, and that it should be a process every single day of energy cultivation. So this is what we did, and she wishes to have it recorded, and so I was like, well, why don't I just share this with all of you? Because we didn't record that part of the Zoom. Sometimes that's like my preparatory part, and I think I'll start recording that as well. Even though I will say this, I feel like it takes someone sometimes out of the authenticity of the moment when it's being recorded. That's why I've never recorded the energy work on video before. And so if you've had sessions with me, you know that I wait and then I just record you like when I'm imparting information that you can go back and you can revisit. There's an authenticity level that I feel like is missing sometimes, where maybe someone doesn't go as deep when they know they're on camera, which is why I haven't done it that way. But I wanted to revisit this so that, number one, she can have this to practice with, and number two, you can also incorporate this in with your clients. So it's really easy. You just begin with the TMJ joint or with whatever joint you want to, and go throughout the body, clearing at every joint, which is a minor chakra. Okay, so there's a specific number of acupuncture meridians that run through the minor chakras, and then there's a specific number of acupuncture meridians that run through the major chakras of the midline. These joints, being able to look at them as a chakra, as an energy portal, as a vortex, it changes everything. Because what I now know Qigong is doing for me every day, Tai Chi, yoga, all these things, I now understand you're circulating the energy throughout your own chakra system when you pick a modality like Qigong or like yoga, and you're moving the currents, the swirls of energy in these joints. You're staying clean, basically. So how you do this is you can put your hands if you want, fingertips, whatever, circulate the energy through like the joint is a little whirlpool of energy. Color breathe into that joint. When you get to the shoulders, you can also give yourself a little hug and connect your palm chakra, because you have a powerful concentration of energy in your palm. You can connect it with those shoulder joints and also give yourself a little hug. So this is different than the Reiki self-healing protocol because, as you know, the Reiki self-healing protocol begins at the crown of the head and it comes all the way down throughout the midline. And that also feels really good. So if you haven't done that one for a while, definitely do it. But taking time to clean, clear, charge up every joint, every energy center in the body, in whatever way that you want to do that, in whatever way that you want to connect your hand to that joint, and color breathe. And you can take as little or as much time as you have with the joints. What I suggest though is if it doesn't compromise your shoulders, to like really get into that sacroiliac joint as well, the lumbar area, really get in there. And then when you go all the way down to the pelvis, now focus on the entire spinal column, because every single one of those vertebra, you can breathe color in all there into your powerhouse circuitry of your spine. And then one by one, you can take a hand and just totally cradle the knee in whatever way your hand fits to that joint. When you get to the knees, I really want you to pay attention to the backs of the knees, because we hold a lot of emotion. We store a lot of emotion in there, but you can be cradling this way around the knee. You can encircle the whole joint. Make sure when you get to your ankle, you give it lots of love in a way that slows you down, and you breathe the color that your imagination gives you into that particular joint. It'll be different at each one. Don't forget all those little joints in the toes as well. Those are different than the minor chakra system, which is where 14 acupuncture meridians intersect on these larger joints, but they also need a lot of attention and a lot of love. So I hope you enjoy that technique for yourself, and I hope that you use it with those you work with.